Namaste, Jai Bharat. Today, our neighbor Pakistan is undergoing a very serious kind of situation. They always had this problem of three parallel administrations running. One, the mullahs, two, the army, and also if they have an elected government, then. So their kind of democracy is simply an eyewash. It appears, or or from the information that I get, is that the army decides who should do what, and according to the army's instructions, things are manipulated. So the army and the civil administration becomes one and the same, with some kind of gives and takes. On the other hand, they have this religious authority. That's one thing. They have this religious authority. The mullahs and the maulvis, etc. They are very formidable in their society. They are very powerful in their society. At least the people are afraid of them because they create a fatwa, and you could be stoned to death and for all kind of reasons, and no one is going to ask, no one is going to prove, no one is going to question, no one is going to demonstrate any evidences. There is another interesting thing. It's very interesting for people like us sitting in Bharat to watch their videos. This is social media's time. To watch their social media, you find them saying so many things, and in general, what they say is just a few things which is generally say, which almost everyone say, that we have everything. We have everything. We could become number one. Someone would say we are already number one, but at least some people with some sense would say we could become number one very easily. But someone says we don't have will. Someone says that there is a lot of corruption, and this kind of excuses they find put in front of, and then they say it's because of these shortcomings we are unable to become number one. Otherwise, we would have been long before number one in the whole world. They would say they're the number one society, they would say they are the number one army, and they are the number one everything, they would like to say. And in each of the narrative, after every second sentence, they say this hum Musalman hai. This is one thing which is very interesting. They keep repeating hum Musalman hai as though they themselves were not sure. Now, let's understand let's create an understanding of what is it to be a Muslim. Imagine that you have a good narrative of an archetype Islam, archetype Muslim. There is a concept of being a genuine Muslim. Now, these Pakistanis who always keep saying that Aham Musalman hai, to what extent they agree to this archetype concept of being Islam? That question, I am just putting it in front of anyone who is hearing me. To what extent they agree to the archetype concept? And then, as I understand, I find that they are far from being an archetype concept of being a Muslim. Very far from being, because you find them not very loyal. You find them doing anything for their objectives. You find them not controlled by any kind of moral forces. You find them filled with whatever negative thoughts you can have, whatever negative quality you can have. You find them filled with such things, and yet they keep saying hum Musalman, but it seems they themselves are somewhere conscious in their minds that they have to keep asserting themselves that, because they are not. They don't belong to this archetype idea of a Muslim, being a Muslim. That's how I understand Islam as a religion and as a society. There are many other Muslim societies in the world, and they're very friendly people at many places. But why these people only have all these problems? They have all the problems. Fundamentally, their problem is they are not very disciplined. The indiscipline is on the zenith. They're not very disciplined people. They're quiet, indisciplined kind of society, where you have an objective, You somehow want to get it done, and without really working. They're not hardworking people. They just force themselves to work, and they're spurious ego as though there's something. This is all the kind of madrasa education which they will put undergoing through. And those madrasa people see are the best Muslims in the world. They'll go and speak to a different society which is an archetype Muslim society, and how will they react is a question one should think, understand yourself. Many Islamic nations don't want them to go there, just because these people say one thing and do other thing, and they are entirely different thing. There is no unity of thought. There is no unity of thought action. There is no unity of thought speech. There is no unity of reality and they themselves. It's all fragmented and scattered into different directions, and they ultimately amount to be a semblance of mistakes. Problem is with the society. The problem is with their conviction that they are best Muslims in the world. The problem is that their version of Islam, which they have borrowed from, I'm sure that Iqbal did not mean this, but borrowed from Islam, Muhammad Iqbal, and the way they practice has nothing to do with any understanding of any version of Islam, be it Muhammad Iqbal or be it someone else, or be it even Sayyid Ahmad Khan. They have nothing to do with this kind of thing. Each individual practices in his own way for his objectives, for his ends, and for his benefits. To be clear, for his benefits. This is what makes a society suffer. They cannot progress. There are people basically, at least 100 years before, they were like us, and now they're totally different because they lost the Sanskriti. They've lost a sense of discipline. They're indisciplined and they speak. Lahori, what we say, speak and say nothing, then do nothing. There's no connection between what they think, what they speak, and what they do. It's all aimed at petty gains. They just want immediate gains and don't see beyond their nose. Their problem is indiscipline to begin with. Their problem is the way of understanding religion. Their problem is their madrasa education, where most of the mullahs are nitwits who fantasize on whatever little thing they don't know actually, seriously. Whatever little thing they know, they fantasize and make rhetorics and narratives out of it and put it in front of young minds who grow like that. There can be hardly anyone who breaks this. There can be hardly anyone. They are confused people, indisciplined people. That's a problem. That's the problem. Because they can't escape. They have this religion as an inescapable element in the society because they came to existence in the name of religion. They came to existence on the basis of this two-nation theory. They came to existence exclusively saying that we can't live with Hindus. We are unable to live with Hindus. Little do they realize that they can't live with anyone else. Not only that they can't live with anyone else, they just can't live even with themselves. There will be internal contradictions in the same family, which of course is throughout the history. So this is difficult. You have to detoxify, delineate the society, beginning with the madrasa education. They should stop all the madrasas and all the people teaching whatever in the madrasas. They are doing harm, much more harm to individuals in society than any good. If they want to redeem themselves, begin with that. Begin with the madrasa education, substitute it with general normal education. Who is telling you not to teach religion? Let them learn religion. They already have religion in their syllabus. Let some sensible people discuss about religion, not fanatics, not fundamentalism, not intolerance. Let's hope that someday people will understand things, though it will take 2000 years. Let's hope that someday they will understand. Someday things will be better. And we'll meet again with some other thoughts. Till then, Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Shri Ram.